welcome back to Marvellous Maths. I hope you're all well and that you're all keeping safe at home. I'm missing you all. So today is going to be our second lesson on time, where we're going to be recapping our o'clock, half past, quarter past and quarter to, and we're also going to be learning to tell the time to 5-minute intervals. First of all, let's go through our answers from the challenge I gave you at the end of our last lesson together. So I asked you, what times are each of these clocks showing? So here are your answers. The first one was 10:30. The second one, 2:15. And the third one was 6:45. Okay, so well done if you got those correct. Now it's time for today's lesson. Now, instead of warming up with our usual 5-a-day questions, we're going to practice counting in our fives, which is going to be really important for this lesson because we're going to be telling the time in 5-minute intervals. So let's start off by counting in our fives together. So we're going to count in our fives from 5 to 60, and you're going to do it with me. You ready? Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Well done. Okay, so let's change it up a bit and make it a little bit harder. So this time we're going to take it in turns with counting in our fives. So I will start by saying 5, then you say 10, I say 15, you say 20. And we'll carry on like that until we reach 60. Okay, let's give it a go. Ready? 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55. Well done, super. So now let's switch it around. You're going to start on 5 and then I will fill in the gap, and then we'll carry on until we reach 60. So you'll say 5, I'll say 10, you say 15, I say 20. Ready? Okay, you start. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Well done. So those are some games that you can also play with whoever's at home. But if you would like some other ways of practicing your fives, I'm going to show you a couple of ways, a couple of fun little creative things that you can do at home to help you practice your fives. So have a little look and perhaps you could have a go at doing one of them after the video. Walking up the stairs. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Let's start off by recapping what we learnt last lesson. So let's have a look at the clock face and the hands of an analogue clock. So what do we call the shorthand on an analogue clock? What does it mean? Tell your grown up. So the shorthand is the hour hand. It tells us the hour. What do we call the long hand? Tell your grown up. What does it mean, the long hand? The long hand is the minute hand and it tells us the minutes. Now let's recap our quarter past and quarter to. When we tell the time, we either say it is past or to the hour. So if you remember last time, I said that anything on this side of the clock face is past the hour, and anything on this side is to the hour, and that's because our hands on an analog clock go clockwise this way round, clockwise around the clock. So the hands will be going past the hour on this side, and they'll be going towards the hour on this side. So have a look at these three clocks now. Which clock is showing quarter past 2? Tell your grown up now. And remember, you can pause the video at any point to give yourself some more time to work things out. Okay, are you ready? The end one over here is showing quarter past 2 because the long hand is pointing at the 3, or the first quarter past the hour, so it's quarter past, and the short hand is just beyond a quarter of the way past the 2, a quarter past 2. Well done. Which clock shows quarter to 6? Tell your grown up. Are you ready? Okay. The middle one is showing quarter to 6 because this time the big hand is pointing at the 9, or a quarter of the way towards the next hour, and the small hand is pointing a quarter of the way towards the 6, so it's a quarter to 6. Now it's time for us to have a look at telling the time to 5-minute intervals. So I've got a question here for you that you need to think about before we get started. How many minutes are there in an hour? Tell your grown up now. Ready? There are 60 minutes in an hour. Okay, so this is why it was so important for us to warm up by counting in our 5s, because if you look at a clock face, it can be divided into intervals of 5, okay? And if you know your times tables very well, you'll know there are 60 minutes in a full hour, and there are 12 numbers on a clock. So 12 5s, or 12 times 5, equals 60. So another way that we can say that is 60 divided into 5s gets us 12, okay? Don't worry too much about that. That's just a little explanation for maybe some of my year 2s. So you'll see the numbers around the outside. We can use these to count round in our 5s to tell the time to 5-minute intervals. So let's just count round in our 5s using the clock face. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So that's a full hour divided into 5-minute intervals. So let's start off by just looking at minutes past the hour. And we're starting off with one that you already know. So we know that this one, where the long hand is pointing straight down at the 6, means 30 minutes past the hour, or half past the hour. And you'll see the interval of 5 minutes is 30 here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 30 minutes past the hour, or half past. So we're just looking at the long hand for these. That's the important part. Okay, so the long hand you'll see is pointing at the 1 here on the clock, but this means 5 minutes past. Can you say 5 minutes past? Well done. This is 10 minutes past. The long hand is now pointing 5, 10 minutes past the hour. Can you say 10 minutes past? Well done. This next one is 15 minutes past, or we can call this quarter past because we've done this before. It is 5, 10, 15 minutes past the hour, or a quarter of the way past the hour. Okay? 20 minutes past the hour. You'll see 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes past. Can you say 20 minutes past? Well done. This one is 25 minutes past. You'll see 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes past the hour. Can you say 25 minutes past? Well done. So ending with the one that we already know, 30 minutes past the hour. So let's count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes past the hour. Say 30 minutes past. So let's have a go at reading some times to 5-minute intervals. And I want you to remember counting in your fives as you go around the clock. Okay, and you can stop when you get to 6 because remember we're just looking at the minutes past the hour. Okay, so count round in your fives. What time does it say on the clock? Tell your grown up. Are you ready? It says 10 past 4. So starting from our 12, from our O clock, we can count round in fives. Ready? 5, 10. It's 10 minutes past. Okay, so 10 minutes past, looking at the shorthand, 4. 10 past 4. Okay, we could either say 10 minutes past 4 or a quicker way of saying it, 10 past 4. Okay, let's do another one. What time does it say on this clock? So remember, start at your 12 or O clock and count round in fives until you reach the long hand. Then look at the shorthand and that will give you your time. Okay, are you ready? Let's go through it. So this time is 20 past 7 or 20 minutes past 7. Okay, so let's do it together. Starting at our 12 or our O clock, we count round in our fives. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20. So we know that it's 20 minutes past or 20 past. Okay, then looking at our shorthand, the shorthand has just gone past the 7. It's not gone past the 8 yet. It's gone too far past the 6, so it must be 20 past 7. Okay, well done. What time does it say on the clock here? You could either say the minutes past, or you could say the way that we've already learned, the way that we learnt last lesson. Are you ready? Okay, so the time is 15 minutes past 11 or quarter past 11. Okay, so again, starting at our 12, we count round in our fives. Ready? 5, 10, 15. So it's 15 minutes past, or we know this as being quarter past. Okay, because it's a quarter of the way past the hour. And also, if you know your times tables very well, 15 is quarter of 60. So quarter of 60. So 60 minutes in a full hour, 30 minutes in half an hour, 15 minutes in quarter of an hour. Okay, just something to think about. So then we look at our shorthand, and our shorthand is just gone past the 11. So 15 minutes past 11 or quarter past 11. What time does it say on this clock? Remember to start at your 12 and count round in your 5s. Are you ready? Okay. 5 past 8 or 5 minutes past 8. So remember, starting at your 12, count round in your 5s. 5. It's 5 minutes past. Then we look at our shorthand, and our shorthand is pointing just a tiny bit past the 8. So we know that it's 5 past 8 or 5 minutes past 8. Well done. Our final one, what time does it say on this clock? Remember, start at your 12 and count round in your 5s. Are you ready? Okay. This time is 25 past 10 or 25 minutes past 10. So starting at the 12, let's count round together in our 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So it's 25 minutes past the hour. 25 past. So then, looking at our shorthand has just gone past the 10. So it's 25 minutes past 10. Well done. So remember, when we're looking at our clock, we can divide it into 2 halves. And remember, I said before that anything on this side of the clock is past the hour because it's going past our o'clock, our hour. Okay, and anything on this half or this side of the clock face is to the hour because it's going towards the next hour. So this side is past, okay, and this side is to. But remember, that's only when we're looking at the long hand because that's our minute hand. Okay, so when our minute hand is on this side, it's something past. And when our minute hand is on this side, it's something to, okay? Another thing that I like to think about to help me remember my trickier times is to kind of think about it as being a mirror, okay? So if you see on this side, we've got 5 past. Flip it over on the mirror image on this side, we've got 5 to, 5 minutes to. Okay, on this side we've got 10 minutes past. Flip it over on the other side, what do you think we've got? 10 minutes to. On this side, 15 minutes past. On the opposite side, what do you think we've got? 15 minutes to. On this side, we've got 20 minutes past, and on its opposite side, what do you think? 20 minutes to. And the final one, 25 minutes past on this side, and on the opposite side, 25 minutes to. So when the long hand is pointing at the 7 here, it is 25 minutes to. Can you say 25 minutes to? Or we might say 25 to as a shorter and easier way of saying it. Okay, but remember, it's a mirror image of 25 minutes past. Okay, or another way that we can do it is we can start at our 12 and we can count back in our 5s. Okay, so we can count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, so think about it as being a sort of mirror image with our past on this side and our to on this side, a mirror image of each other. Okay, so this one is 25 minutes to. When the long hand is pointing at the 8, it is 20 minutes to. Can you say 20 minutes to? Or we can say 22. Okay, so see, it's the mirror image of 20 minutes past. Okay, or we can count round from our 12. 5, 10, 15, 20. 20 minutes to. This next one, we know this as being quarter to, but we can also call it 15 minutes to. Okay, if we start at our 12 and count in our 5s, 5, 10, 15, 15 minutes to, or think about it as being the mirror image of 15 minutes past, 15 minutes to. When the long hand's pointing up at the 10 here, it is 10 minutes to. Can you say 10 minutes to? Or we can say 10 to. So remember, it's the mirror image of 10 minutes past, 10 minutes to. Or we can start from our 12 and count in our 5s. 5, 10. 10 minutes to. Our final one is 5 minutes to. Can you say 5 minutes to? Or we can say 5 to. Okay, so remember, it's a mirror image of 5 past on this side, 5 to on this side, or count in your 5s. 5. Okay, 5 minutes to. Let's have a go at reading some times to the hour in our 5-minute intervals. So what time does it say on the clock? So tell your grown up, and remember, you can pause it. Some of these times are much trickier than last lesson, so you might need to give yourself a little bit more time. Are you ready? It is 15 minutes to 3 or quarter to 3. So looking at our long hand, we know this as being quarter to because it's a quarter of the way to the next hour. So you could say quarter to, or 15 minutes to. Remember counting in your 5s. 5, 10, 15. 15 minutes to. And our shorthand is going towards the 3, so it's to 3. 15 minutes to 3 or quarter to 3. What time does it say on this clock? So when you're looking at where the long hand is, you can either think about it as being a mirror image of the minutes past the hour, or you can count round from the 12 round this way in your 5s to get the minutes to the hour. Ready? Okay. It is 25 minutes to 5 or 25 to 5. Okay, so if you remember on this side we had 25 minutes past, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So on its mirrored side, on the opposite side, would be 25 to. Okay, or you can count round in your 5s from the 12. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, so it's 25 minutes to, and our shorthand is showing the hour going towards 5. 25 to 5. Well done. What time does it say on this clock? You can either count round in your 5s from a 12, or you can think about what the opposite side was. Ready? Okay. 20 minutes to 1 or 20 to 1. Okay, so remember on this side we had our 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes past. So the opposite side must be 20 minutes to. Or count round in your fives. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20. 20 minutes towards the hour. And looking at our shorthand, the shorthand is going towards the 1. So it's 20 minutes to 1. Well done. What time does it say on the clock? Remember, you can pause the video to give yourself some more time. Ready? Okay, let's go through this one. It is 10 minutes to 6 or 10 to 6. Okay, so we've got our long hand pointing up at our 10 here, which is 5, 10 minutes to. Or think about what it was on this side. 5, 10 minutes past. On the opposite side, 10 minutes to. Okay, and looking at our shorthand, it's going towards the 6. So it's 10 minutes to 6, or 10 to 6. Well done. Okay, so this is your task now. I want you to go and look at a clock. It needs to be an analogue clock, so it needs to have a clock face with the numbers around the outside. And I want you to tell your grown-up what the time is now. Okay? And perhaps throughout the week, you could practice telling the time by looking at any of the clocks in your house at any point in the day and telling your grown-up what the time is. Well done everyone for completing your second lesson on time. I know it was slightly trickier than our last lesson, but telling the time takes lots of practice. So I want you to keep practicing throughout the week, looking at the clocks in your house and telling your grown-up what the time is at any point in the day. Thank you everyone for joining me today. Remember, keep working hard at home, stay safe, and I'll see you very soon for some more Marvellous Maths. Bye everyone.